Now, there's been a lot of myths about the early founders of Los Angeles. Some people attributed them as being, full-blooded Spanish. In fact, they were a very mixed group. Among the 11 families that settled here, there were 8 mulattoes, 9 Indians, 2 Negroes, 1 mestizo, and someone listed as a Chino, which in those days was probably a Filipino because the man had been born in Manila.
On Olympic, I think that our boundaries are very stiff-like, and there aren't really hard and fast boundaries that say that this is Koreatown. There's a lot of overlapping, and from here you'll begin to notice the signage begin to change from English to Spanish and then to Korean.
This was what we call the Field of Dreams. The reality was this park was done without a penny from the city, but everything was donated to create the field. We know we're not done because the lights haven't come up and the bleachers haven't been put up, and we know that it's surrounded by other land and other things will happen.
This was a wonderful community and still is a wonderful community. It's a multicultural community now. It always was, but it's much more visible now, and I'm happy to see it that way.
Aquí esa es una comunidad que realmente hace la fuerza a cambiar la situación o resolver sus propios problemas ellos mismos, ¿verdad?
My name is Frank Rangel, Tony Baragon, Mario Dela Cruz, Caesar. Just introduce yourself, you guys.
Hugo, Rafael, Mando.
And my name is Frank, and we're just bakers. Well, we learned how to make Lithuanian rye and German pumpernickel. Let's see. A little bit of the gourmet bread.
It's a place that part of our own efforts to have some kind of economic development here, understanding that jobs really is the best antidote to crime and to gang violence here in our community.
Just an opportunity they gave us here. Feel good, we're doing something honestly.
The essence of self-help is to serve as a community-based arts organization that does 3 things. We promote individual artists in this neighborhood. Secondarily, is to promote the art and culture that comes from this community. You are surrounded by a community, which I'm sure you know by now, is second only to Mexico City in terms of the density of Mexican Chicano art and culture and population in the world. The third largest city is Tijuana, and that's only 100 miles away, and so we have numerous exchanges and a constant influx of art and culture. So it's a combination of Chicano culture, which is culture from this neighborhood, from this population of people who are living in this area and interacting with the American mainstream, as well as a constant synthesis of the Mexican culture. The third thing is to take the work of these artists, the art and culture that's reflected in this work, and to proselytize, to promote, to show how it contributes to American culture, and to promote it with audiences, and to let other people enjoy this incredibly rich cultural contribution of an entire people as manifested by this core of artists.
It's been a good day in East LA.
Welcome to Koreatown Plaza. The shop is we opened this one in 1988. Since then, this is the heart of Koreatown. Probably you travel in this area. We draw almost 15,000 people per day, and a lot of this is a $25 million project.
Even Koreatown, before it was called Koreatown, there were Korean Americans who began to settle here, and we've been here for well, Korean immigrant history is close to 100 years. And here's all the different varieties of kimchi. There are, what do you recommend? What do I recommend? It depends on what you like. Because
What's your favorite dish?
I'm very particular, and my mom, or it has to be like maybe my grandmother or something. And this is in stark contrast to the swap meets that we saw a lot of on our tour earlier. When people talk about Koreans owning swap meets, I think that sometimes when you don't have the correct analysis, it's very easy to say that it's just cultural or there's just an entrepreneurial spirit. But when you have a medical degree from Korea, when you're a professional with a law degree from Korea, because of language and because of culture, you cannot practice law and medicine in the United States. Therefore, you have to exploit family labor and gather the capital through borrowing and saving from family and friends. And the only way to get a leg up for survival in the United States oftentimes is through the small businesses. And then here you can see they have a wonderful fish section and a meat market. So that's, if you ever want to come shopping, this is a great place to explore.